Welcome back. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner MetaZone, Rovi and MScribe, and today we're going to bring you some more Crypto Slam for Ordinal's Takeover.
All right, we're crypto slamming, dude.
Yes.
Still haven't figured out how to program that button, I guess.
We haven't spent any time on button programming, dude.
Fuck. Okay, well, then we're just gonna forever fade Space Jam theme song.
That's the greatest song ever made, though.
That's what I'm trying to say. I think it would be very fitting into our curriculum, or not curriculum.
We're classes in session.
Our productions, you know what I mean? But whatever, we're here crypto slamming away. This is how we do our due diligence, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like keep an eyeball on like the activities of humanity in this blockchain space, specifically
the few
Bitcoin.
Thousands of humanity.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on where's all the action in the NFT side of things, right?
Yeah, so we're looking at the 7-day chart, and we're getting trounced by Ethereum.
I wouldn't say trounced.
We're getting dominated. Actually, wash trading is at $46 million.
Exactly. Bitcoin is clean money, dude. Sound of money.
You heard it here.
I told you, dude. Fuck, Ethereum's the real, like...
yeah, that's like almost 50%, dude.
38, as it says. Yeah, dude. But
no, this isn't percentage of that. That's over half, dude.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
The point is, okay, but last week Bitcoin was like third on the list. Solana was like trouncing Bitcoin as well.
That's right.
So really, we haven't really... The picture pretty much remains stagnant, and that's okay.
Right.
We're in that lull period where I think...
Damn, look at this. In the 30-day period,
Yeah.
wash trading is more than the sales.
Wow, dude. Fucking Ethereum, dude.
Yep.
Land of the...
The launderers?
Of degeneracy, I guess. I don't know.
Oh.
Okay,
All right,
let's move on
anyways.
from Crypto Slam. What's happening in Ordinals, dude?
All right, Unisat is happening. Development progress update. They're going to be talking about BRC20 indexer, ARC20, the swaps,
The
a
app.
Unisat app,
That's nice.
and then a game framework, and then more. The more was the most interesting thing here.
The more is definitely very interesting, and it seems to be like one of the more overlooked
Yeah.
parts to all of this, and for understandable reasons, because it's like, what the fuck are they even talking about?
It's very theoretical.
Yeah, and the Bitcoin fractal stuff.
Yeah, so here it is. Fractal Bitcoin, a recursive blockchain computing system. For more details, read their Notion doc.
Yeah, we talked about it on yesterday's video, so it's in context of what's happening in the L2 ecosystem emerging on Bitcoin.
Right.
This is Unisat's like contribution to that end. It's like, okay, yeah, we've been fucking doing some crazy shit on Bitcoin this last year.
Let's get crazier.
Yeah, we're expecting crazier things to happen, but yeah, we need to figure out this scaling and this programmability dilemma, and like in the best way as possible. So
yeah,
this is their entrance as far as like their solution to that. So definitely look into it. Unisat's making moves as expected, and here they go. Moves with Binance.
Yeah, look at this. Excited to partner with Web3 Binance on the launch of their inscription marketplace. Trade inscribe 60,000 BRC20. Speed up your BRC20 transactions with Binance, BTC Transaction Accelerator, and seamlessly purchase Bitcoin on Binance Exchange.
Damn. Yeah, so they're basically supplying like some of the critical, I guess, back-end infrastructure to Binance in order for them to, like, I guess also partake in this inscription mania space, which makes sense.
Why reinvent the wheel and build it all yourself when you can just plug it in?
Yeah, so Unisat, God damn it, they're doing the right stuff, right? They're embedding their roots across like many different sectors, which is always a good play. Yeah, right. Especially embedding some roots in Binance's yard.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're setting yourself up.
Yeah.
All right, Ords Games is proud to announce the first game utilizing Unisat Wallet Game Framework. Right, so that's part of their announcements in the previous tweet here.
So yeah, you were asking like a game framework.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that?
Yeah, it's a meta protocol.
Okay.
And it's being leveraged by this game called Inscription War. So it was unveiled on a big demo day in Hong Kong, on-chain gaming, loot assets, in-game marketplaces, and contract inscriptions.
All very important stuff, I think, for the future, and like a demonstration of what Unisat's been talking about for many months now is like the modularity, modularability,
Modularity.
whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that you can create these new functionalities within the BRC20 ecosystem, right? You just the indexers need to really support it all. Is really the main takeaway. We all understand that at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
You could really do almost anything so long as like the indexers agree on that thing has value to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we all need to maintain and upkeep like the proper accounting of such thing.
Yeah.
Am I summing that up about right, dude?
No, that's right. That's right.
Okay.
And these frameworks are very important because now that Unisat is indexing this stuff, if you want to create like a game asset, you're going to want to look into this framework.
It's true.
Because it's going to be indexed.
Yeah.
Right? The indexer tells you what is the truth. Right? If you invent your own standard, you got to index yourself. It's very possible.
Yeah.
But it requires a technology stack to do that.
Right, and you're not playing along with like what's starting to emerge is like the beginnings of like a more distributed network of consensus among these indexers, right? We got OPI now.
Right.
Kind of like, distributed nodes hosting the source of truthing within the BRC20 space.
Yep.
You got what's going on Tap and Track, which is also entering into that phase.
Yep.
As of right now, like what's actually happening on Tap can be sourced from multiple different participants.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems to be the direction like this whole ordinal space is headed for good reason. If we're going to really rely on indexers this heavily, then it shouldn't be in the hands of like a single entity, right?
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
So everything, Unisat wasn't always headed in this direction. There was a point in time, if you go back to our videos like 3 or 4 months ago, where they were in the complete opposite direction, where it's like, you know what?
Yeah. It looked like they were trying to control everything.
Yeah, where it's like, you know what? We don't need even like the baseline protocol anymore.
Yeah, we don't need ordinals. We don't need that.
Right. It's like we're just gonna like freeze the whole damn thing in place and then just like implement our own, I guess, everything around it and just like go in our own direction.
Yeah.
And, there was a lot of resistance to that.
They didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense when they did that.
So this is a better direction. Definitely kudos to Unisat for figuring it all out and that ecosystem around them.
Yeah, and speaking of a different direction, we got fractal Bitcoin.
Yeah, like you said, probably the more interesting thing to come out of their announcement. So
yeah,
Unisat doesn't really communicate much, to be honest.
Right.
At least not to us Westerners. So it's like every now and then they come out with like these bombs, right? And it's like, holy shit, these guys are up to something. So this is a bomb on a pretty big scale, I would say. Would you agree?
Yeah. So BCSP is Bitcoin Core Software Package. This is a virtualization of Bitcoin itself as like its own little application.
In other words, like, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call them app chains, but like,
it's like an app chain.
Yeah. If you remember like back in the Ethereum days, like ZK Sync and such others, they proposed things like layer 3.
Yeah.
Where, you can create or like Cosmos, you can create like app specific, basically chain instances, that are tailored to your application needs, I guess. But all of it is still interoperable and such. And of course it all relays to the main chain.
Correct.
Right. So it's a very like, becoming a very popular infrastructure, I guess, to like, addressing scalability and, expanding ecosystem value, like from the inside to the outer cores.
Yeah, and this article is a high-level view of like this idea, this abstract app chain idea. What's interesting is that they're essentially proposing like infrastructure for virtual worlds.
Yeah,
which is cool, right?
It's cool.
All of a sudden, virtual worlds is like a consideration for like architecture design.
Yeah. Ordinals is getting a lot of push. Infrastructure is definitely accelerating. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. Speaking of
acceleration, we got Runestone Airdrop will span 2,000 plus ordinal collections.
Yeah, so we talked about R6 last week, remember?
Yeah.
It was quite the fucking drop. It was literally an airdrop to some of like the more, I guess, notable collectors within the ordinal space.
Yeah.
Basically, if you got like any of the like blue chip-esque status ordinals, you got airdropped. Which some say is like
a miner, basically.
A miner for a future rune allocation.
Right.
So it's a novel concept. a lot of resistance, a lot of acceptance. It's just generated a lot of hoopla in the space, right? And then Leonidas to the rescue. He's like, you know what? I've created a distribution mechanism that's way more fair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So here it is. That's what that looks like.
Yeah. And what do you know? Finally included bitmaps.
Very nice, dude. Yeah, at the beginning we weren't so sure if bitmap was going to be like considered because there was like a non-text based inscription parameter.
Yeah, which is all of bitmap.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, that's quite the fade, dude. But we expected that, right? It's like, yeah, bitmap for whatever reason has always been like not part of the Ordinal's Cool Kids Club.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't need to be, but
yeah, I guess not because I mean, here we're about to find out there might be some a saving grace in the metaverse space, addressing exactly that.
Right.
Yeah, let's just quickly look at R6.
Yeah, R6 we got a floor price 0.07, 326 Bitcoin in volume, 8,000 holders.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty big, I think. That's like about a 7x from where it was last week, something like that.
Yeah.
So they're going up in value for sure. People are really anticipating this like rune allocation mania, which is, we suspected this, and it was something else we said last week is more names will enter into this like conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go.
Here we go. It's called Virothium. Mines are coming. Be ready to grab yours. 21K supply. So basically, it's another mining-esque type of situation here with the exact same supply.
Yeah.
And they're not doing an airdrop, are they?
No, I'm pretty sure it's a BRC 420. So I mean that's. I mean, that can be airdrop, but that is very expensive. So considering this is like a, not like a community funded initiative like the Fairdrop was.
Yeah.
I don't see this team like appealing to the bitmap communities. Like, guys, send us all your money so that we can airdrop you all these miners.
Yeah.
I mean, like maybe that would work. I don't know, but the most likely outcome is like an actual sale of these assets.
Correct.
Through BRC 420's like royalty mechanism.
Yeah, this is an odd picture though.
Let's do. Okay, I was about to say enhance that, please, because I can't read a damn thing.
All right, so we have mine Virothium gas. So less than 1 in 8 bitmaps will have Virothium mine.
So what does that factor in?
21,000.
Is that what they mean? Just based off a pure supply?
Less than 1 in 8? I think it's less than that.
It's like less than 1 in like 20, right?
100,000 would be 1 in 8.
Yeah. So it's this could be pretty scarcely distributed.
It says mine or get even more Virothium. And 80K Virothium mines available to mint at BRC 420.
Oh, 80,000.
What is going on with this like text? It's all different. What's happening, dude?
A little bit of a rushed, I guess, like
this is definitely rushed.
Mind mapping of like how this is all going to work out. So, but this is the flow. So like that's an individual human, right? In the bitmap.game virtual stack, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
That's what the square on the left represents.
Yeah, correct.
So you're entering a bitmap. That's what a bitmap looks like on a recursive IO's infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
So what are you doing? Drop daily at the time of VGAS launch.
See, I'm curious how they do this technically.
That's really what we're looking out for, right? Because we've been kind of waiting around to see like what are the technical limitations to BRC 420, right? If there are any at all. I think like the standard itself is pretty robust in its like ability to incorporate, function and logic. So feasibly somebody could develop, an application like this in this, maybe, right?
Maybe.
So we have to look at the code whenever it's actually deployed. We're gonna really look into this deeply, right?
Yeah, if the code is just this 3D model, then we got issues.
It can't be. Like the actual inscribed code.
Yeah, if it is.
Because BRC 420 is a recursive protocol, right? So
no, I know, but you could just inscribe this and then create a BRC 420.
Yeah.
And it's just a 3D model. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so hopefully that's not what's going to be delivered. Like we're expecting an actual application grade asset.
Yeah.
That has all of that logic incorporated, meaning like, visitor equals allocation X amount of time, like all these different factored considerations in the code.
I don't think that's happening, dude.
Well, we're gonna see.
I don't know.
That would make this truly an MSIC, right? A metaverse. Was it
metaverse specific integrated circuit?
Yeah.
Whatever that was.
Was that an official graphic from the project?
Yes, sir.
I think so. It comes directly from the Twitter page.
It's not good, guys.
I mean, what do you mean, dude?
What do you mean? What do we mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do we mean?
The graphic?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
graphic's
what do
not good.
What do you mean, dude?
Dude, look at they didn't even look.
What do you mean?
Look at the.
What do you mean?
Look
What
at
do
the
we
gas.
mean?
Hold on, let me pull off my spectacles. Let me get a closer look. What are you talking
They
about?
just snipped a picture, dude. Look at that,
This one on the left,
dude. It's not good.
dude. I mean,
they didn't even cut out the background of this thing.
Objectively, it's not good.
Yeah.
okay, I see what you're saying from like a efforts standpoint.
Yeah, the arrows are just like, messed up. They're using different fonts here. It's like, dude, this is not a good presentation of an application grade deployable asset. No.
So you're saying maybe this is like a, what's the word? Fuck. What are those things? Like a prelude? Not a prelude. Like a
smoke and mirrors, maybe?
No, dude.
Like a draft.
Like a draft?
Fuck. Like a prelude or precursor to like what to be expected in the future, right? There's a term for that. Fuck.
I just hope they're better.
Foreshadow. Like a foreshadowing. To the actual.
If you're building an application, you can cut out the backgrounds of your images.
Well, that's my point. The fact that they did it is probably like a foreshadowing of like the actual asset whenever it's.
It doesn't take
deployed.
like supercomputer to remove the background, dude.
You're missing my point completely. Okay, I'm agreeing with you. You guys have swayed me. It's like, yeah, they could have put a little bit more effort into this marketing material.
I just want to know who gave the final go ahead to post that. They're like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, remember, dude, we're talking about a market that is like frothing at the mouth over like fucking Cheetos and stuff right now.
Good point.
So it's like, relax, guys. Like, lower your expectations a bit. It'll make a lot more sense.
It's more than a bit. It's a lot.
Okay, whatever, dude. I'm just trying to move it along here. You feel me?
Yeah.
All right. So what is this? The Ordinal. What is it? The Ordinal side?
Yeah.
Okay. So
this is their website.
Yeah, Virothium.
All right. What do you have to say about this, TJ? Fuck. I'm sure you got some opinions on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe for another video.
Okay.
All right. I gotta see their homepage here, dude.
All right.
All right. Let's see what. Okay. So. Okay.
I think that's it.
All right. So buy an ad on their.
I mean, it's like a list. Oh, here we go. Ooh, now we got some stuff.
So 21K of these things. To activate VGAS mining, you must transfer mine to a new wallet.
Are you happy now, dude? The background is cut out.
Yeah, it's better.
That's way better, right?
It's better.
Mine VGAS on bitmap game, less than 1 in 8 bitmaps. Mine even more VGAS with Ordinal Sidelands multiplier sub 100K. Anyone can go to a bitmap on bitmap game and mine VGAS, and VGAS will be Rune's
fungible token. So okay, so if you held on to this long, you're wondering why the hell are we talking about this in context of RSIC? There it is. There's the parallel, right? This is going to be a Rune's extraction allocation device.
So if you guys are impressed with mining, right? This has been an old concept from like 100,000 years ago.
Okay,
we've been mining as human beings since the drop. Right, the fact that we're doing it again in crypto and all that stuff is just being applied now in ordinals.
Yeah.
So this is a very expected thing. So we're gonna see a lot more of this. In other words.
Yeah, and it seems to be there's demand for it. So people want to partake in these like pre-rune token distribution methods, right? So it's novel, it's interesting, and now it's bitmap purposed. So
yeah,
let's see where that flies and goes. But yeah, as far as our perspective, we're definitely going to look at that code nice and... You know what I mean? We're very interested.
Definitely are, yes.
We're very interested.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so CB Spears comes in with a new report from Galaxy HQ on Bitcoin as a platform, has some fascinating insights that may interest the Ordinals crowd. So I haven't read this yet, but I'm looking forward to see Galaxy's perspective because they mentioned ordinals a while back as in something to pay attention to.
Yeah.
But now
it's like a real declaration.
Yeah. Now, yeah, exactly.
It's like, all right, yeah, this is Bitcoin has evolved.
Yeah.
Right. It's a platform now, and Galaxy, they have a track record of like really stepping in during like a ecosystem like early stage just to like really make these impact statements and position themselves very handsomely throughout. They did it on Ethereum and a lot of the other like chains in existence and such. So it's a big deal.
Yeah. So
this just supports the thesis we've been kind of like portraying all year long.
Yeah. So the thesis is if you're not paying attention to Bitcoin, you're sort of missing the target.
Big time, in our opinion. I mean, yeah, Solana's out there, Ethereum's out there. I mean, these are not like
they're not
chains or anything like that. We just saw on Crypto Slam, they're slamming away out there, dude. So they're not to be like completely faded. Right?
No, for sure. I mean, there's definitely a lot of what's it called?
Wash
trading. Wash trading. At least there's that.
Yeah, but still, Bitcoin is without a doubt the most interesting thing happening in all of Web3.
100%.
So if you're missing that, like,
I mean, trust me, we look outside of Bitcoin every now and then.
Yeah,
and it's just not interesting.
The only other thing potentially as interesting as this is probably like Bitensor and like
100%.
Yeah, which we haven't.
I mean, Bitensor is almost at $500 right now, and we talked about it when it was $60. So
exactly. So yeah, Bitensor and Bitcoin. There, that's about it so far this year. Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for us. If we miss anything, let us know in the comment section below. And be sure to share this video. It helps a lot. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Peace.